Well then, let's go for a ramble. Take us out to the countryside and let's have
Okay,
a ramble
you're the
whilst we
nav
ramble.
you're the navigator. You set it all up, so I'll be
Uh,
just driving around in circles.
let's just go here and see where that takes us. So we've second impressions of Cyberpunk. What's been your What's your second impressions then? So first impressions was that very poor audio video from myself. Um,
Uh, Mine
from
was just a
first,
few bugs here and there,
from what,
which I'm sure will be squashed. A
what,
few graphical glitches and whatnots. But
what,
on this one, I think we'll actually talk about the game itself. And I've been I've started again, as I said, because I wasn't too happy with what my character looked like. She looked a bit gormless. So now I've gone for me mixed-raced fantasy girl, and I'm enjoying that so much more. I think the one thing I've taken away from it so much, because I've not done much yet, as I say, I've just been doing the little, they're not even the side missions. They're called gigs. They're kind of the
yeah.
you just turn up and Regina will get on the phone to you and say, go in here, fuck shit up and leave. Okay then. But the one thing I've been taking away from it, where I've always got a massive smile on my face, is when it gets to night time. I'm just driving around and there's a music channel and it plays kind of like smooth jazz, almost like it's straight out of a noir film, and it really sets the atmosphere properly.
Which
You're just
channel's
driving
that?
around, and blue, it's like blue jazz or something like that, or blue something, or smooth FM, who
How you
knows?
doing?
But it's great. Yeah, it plays this smooth, relaxing jazz where you're just like driving around in the rain and like all the neon lights are on in the background. You just drive slowly around and yeah, you feel like you're really in a noir film then, and it's just fantastic. Really, really immersive.
Yeah, I think the radio station I've been listening to the most at the minute is called like Pacific High or Pacifica, something Pacific related anyway. It's kind of synthy stuff. But yeah, well, I'm certainly a bit further into the game as I was the other night. I've had Jackie's funeral, which was a nice.
Spoilers!
I
Dun
know.
dun dun!
Spoilers, but well, by the time people actually watch this video, they've probably played it, or it's hardly much of a spoiler anyway. It's just a nice bit of closure. Well, I suppose actually maybe the fact that Jackie dies as part of almost the tutorial is a spoiler, but tough shit. You know it now.
Yeah, you know it. We should have put a disclaimer on
Oh,
first of all. Hey, nice little slide there. That was very impressive.
can't walk up there.
God says no.
These boots are made for walking, and walking they ain't gonna do it. That's no, not gonna happen.
No. All right, we'll just go for a
Follow the
ramble
track.
down this track then. So this is what I've been mainly doing in the game. Is just kind of wandering around, just walking up and down the sidewalks. I've only just before we came onto the ramble, started the missions up again. Gone into the Maelstrom food canning factory to get the flathead. Because I've done, I think, pretty much every single gig and every single police mission there is in Watson,
Yeah,
and I'm at level, I think I'm at level 12 now, and I've only just I've got like a street cred of like 20,
I'm
and I've only just
certainly.
started.
I'm starting to get my head around all the myriad of icons and things on the excuse me, on the map. It took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on
Mm.
and what a lot of these things mean. But yeah, the gigs are quite nice. What I don't like is the fact that a lot of these gigs seem to be triggered when you walk near
Yes,
a
if you get
certain
within
thing.
15 meters of it,
Yeah,
yes.
and then it's not. I'm okay if it just triggers it, and puts it on your list, but then it immediately makes it your active mission. So if you're on your way to do one mission and you happen to stray past one of these other things, suddenly your active mission is now this new thing. So you've got to go back into your map and put your waypoint down again. And I
Yes.
don't like that. That's really fucking
That's
annoying.
that's what happened to me the first time round. Because the first time round, I just blazed straight into it and got into the second act very early, and I was just bombarded with 5 different fixes because I was just like traveling around everywhere in car, and all these fixes were just like trying to talk to me at once and just ambushing me with, "Hey V, come and do this, come and do that." I was like, "I don't even know you, motherfuckers. Leave me alone."
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I'm starting to notice now, because I'm in Act 2, I've got all these complete strangers calling me up saying, oh, let's go do this, and it's like, well, I'm going to assume that you're from my past and I know who you are, but the fact that the game isn't explaining who you are, and you just immediately appear on my phone going, oh yeah, I've got cars for sale, it's like, who are you?
It does kind of. There is after you've done your uh, life pass starting bit, and then it goes to like the 6 months montage. It does show like the fixes there, but it's very very brief, and if you're not paying attention, you won't notice
Yeah,
it.
I did like that montage actually because it was a good way of
Yeah,
showing the passage of time and the fact that your characters are bonding. I did
yeah.
like that, but yeah,
I just wish it was in the actual game itself though, because there was that scene where like you're dancing with Jackie and you push him away, and there's that bird you're dancing with, and I was really really hoping that would actually be something I was doing myself. That I could actually take, you know, GTA 4 style and just take Jackie out for drinks.
yeah,
But unfortunately, you can't.
yeah, and it's one of the things with Kingdom Come Deliverance that I really liked is when you went to a pub, you'd buy your drinks, but you'd open up your inventory and drink it, and you would see your guy then pick up his Steiner and drink it, and the drinking and being in bars felt more interactive, whereas here it's just, oh, let's open the inventory, click once on the beer, and then your screen goes wobbly because you're drunk, and it doesn't feel like you're really in there unless it happens to be part of the kind of cutscene, interactive cutscene that you're in.
Yes, it's like the first time you see Jackie outside your building, you sit down with him,
Yeah,
but that is a cutscene. It's not an immersive thing. Like the Fallout, like say especially Fallout 3. You could just sit down anywhere and just you could pretend to have a drink. I mean, there's no animation or anything, but you could just immerse yourself. Think, oh, I'm sat
yeah,
down now, and I'm pretending to drink. You can't do that here unless you kind of crouch down onto a seat.
yeah. That's kind of old school.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's
It's
not got the same
it's
feel
it's,
to it.
it's such a tiny thing,
Yeah, it's a
but it
missed opportunity.
it robs you of that interactivity.
Yes.
I just realised this is an incredibly romantic. I mean, look at that, Craig. Is there any emotes we can do
Yes, there's this one.
to hug?
I've taken you out into the wilds for a reason. Oh yeah.
Let's just roughhouse each other.
Well, this is Brookback Mountain now.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
no.
almost dead. Yeah, don't do that
Yeah.
anymore. Ah, look at that view.
Yeah, it's like the skyscrapers off in the distance. Like going back to Cyberpunk, when you're driving around and you can see the Corpo Plaza in the background and all the neon lights are all showing and like everything's. I don't know how the GTX is working. Not GTX, RTX is working on yours, but on my one it is amazing. All these reflections, so much color, so much vibrancy, and it's just glorious. It really is.
I don't think the RTX is actually engaged on mine at the moment. Nvidia has decided it's not good enough, but perhaps I'll switch it on just to see what happens.
I'll have to stream my one and show you. There was one bit where I was outside of Lizzie's, and they got that big neon pink sign of like the girl like kicking her leg.
Yeah.
That was actually reflected in my window as I actually went back into my car. And I was like, wow, that was impressive.
What car have you got at the minute then?
Oh, because I've only just started again, so I've only got the
Oh.
that cheap crap one.
I,
That's
I,
a
I was a bit peeved that you lost that. I mean, I'm trying to think, how did that get
it
lost?
it get lost because one of the missions you talk to the Delamain taxi service, and one of the AIs just goes nuts and says "boom boom motherfucker" and just smashes into it and blows it up.
Oh, that's not what happened with mine.
Well, you might not have got that far yet because that's one of the
Well,
one of
no,
the
I, I,
missions
I
you
don't
get.
I don't have my car anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It's
The
it's one
like
of the
the
missions.
in Act One car.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever losing that. I had that up until I did the heist.
I think Jackie takes it.
Now Jackie takes it, but then he gives it back to you.
I,
And I had full control of it up until the point that I did the heist, and then I lost it without any reason. It's like, did it get blown up or something? It's like, well, no, not in
well,
my gameplay. It hasn't.
well, I mean, it could be different, obviously, because they're all different things. But in my one, yeah, I have it up in my garage, and I go into it, and then this bloody AI car just runs into it, blows it up, and like races off, and that triggers another mission. But haven't you got Jackie's bike?
Yeah, I've done the funeral bit, so I've got control of his bike now. I wish I'd known that earlier before I spent 14 grand on that little Mickey Mike bike vehicle.
So you get the My.
Well, yeah, that's what it was, the little My thing.
The car.
Yeah, the little cheese wedge car,
I
the
love
smart
that
car
thing.
thing. It's good fun to drive. It's very nippy,
Yeah.
but it certainly feels every bump on the road. It's very skittish. The manhole covers and lumps in the road. It starts bouncing all over the place.
That's one of the advantages of actually playing it on the gamepad. Actually, is when you're going over like grates and stuff in the cars, it feel it in the gamepad, and it feels real. Feels like that's how a
Yeah.
bump would actually feel. So I am actually enjoying it more on the gamepad, mainly because I'm not actually using gunplay. I am a solo, well, not solo as in the character is solo, but I'm a solo katana. That's it. That's all I'm using is the katana and net hacking. And since you're switching around everywhere, you don't need to, have precise controls. You can just go swish, 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 and you'll kill everyone in sight.
Yeah, I'm finding the katana is my primary weapon. Um, I, I, I only ever planned on being katana, pistol, submachine gun at the most. In fact, the only time I've really needed the submachine gun was during the heist, where things just went to shit.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that's probably scripted anyway, that it goes to shit at some point anyway, despite my best
What, the heist?
efforts. Yeah.
Yes, the heist. I think there's no, obviously spoilers again, kids. But yes, I don't think there's any way of the heist not going to shit because it's out of your control. What happens?
Well, ain't that pretty?
It is very nice.
I think the observatory. Oh, yeah, the observatory's just over here.
Griffiths Observatory. So wait for Arnie to transport it and give it onto your claws. Give them to me, and poor Bill Paxton gets raped. There's a fun fact for you. Bill Paxton is the only actor to have been killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and an alien. Actually, no,
Yes.
he's one of two. Sorry, because Lance Henriksen as well.
Yes.
Because Bill Paxton was killed in Aliens, in Predator 2. How do you jump over this thing? And Terminator. And Lance Henriksen, it was Terminator, Alien 3, and Alien vs Predator.
Yes. It is an interesting little factoid.
It's full of those things. I impress everyone at work with my film buff knowledge. So if you don't know about films or games, you're dead to me.
I did seem to have something of a glitch with Cyberpunk. Well, that's probably not uncommon, but there was a little side quest bit where I met some street vendor, and as I was talking to him, he was like, got distracted by some kids trying to take his motorbike, and they were angry that this fella's daughter had decided to go and join the corpos, and I was supposed to be there as some kind of muscle to fight them. And the first time I did that mission, I got into a bit of a struggle with them, but got killed. I just got overwhelmed by some guy with a knife. But then the next couple of times that I did it, the game started freaking out. It's like the second time I did it, the guy, I just ran straight over to the guys on the motorbike, and even before that, the AI came over to them and started engaging them in conversation. They were like, "What the fuck do you want, man?" And then suddenly went active against me and started slashing the shit out of me. And I was dead in 2 shots. I'm like, what? And
I've had that, yeah.
and then I loaded it up again, and very similar thing happened. You could see like the awareness icons coming up above their heads, even though I was still in a dialogue tree. And then as soon as the combat started, the guy with the knife, 'cause I think one of them's got a knife, the other one's punching, the guy with the knife just immediately teleported in front of me and one-shotted me. I'm like, what the fuck is this about?
Don't know.
And it's at that point I was just like, you know what, this is just a little side quest, I'm not going to bother.
I must be one of the rare lucky ones, because I've had, apart from my first day, I've had very, very few bugs, a few graphical glitches, and it's always fun when your car teleports inside another car and just explodes. That was interesting.
Well, it's
But
mainly
I've
been
not had
graphical
any
glitches
yeah.
for me.
I've heard some horror stories, and obviously what you can say about the older generation consoles. Say less about those the better, because
Yeah, I've seen the
that
videos
game
of that.
really should not be played on those old gen consoles. It's not meant for it at all.
No. When I've seen the videos for that, and it just looks awful.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on with those.
I don't even know why they bothered, to be honest. The new gen is
Money.
out.
More money.
Well, I think it was pandering, really.
You
It's
know,
a lot of pandering.
there's a big market on the Xbox and PlayStation. It's well, the statistic I read that they made profit on day one.
Yes.
I mean, that's
They
just
made,
huge money.
I think they made 50 million profit on the first day.
I mean, that's just mental.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep coming now.
Oh yeah, I mean, like The Witcher 3 basically made their company, a multi-billion-dollar company, and that did not make its money back on day one. It was quite obscure until like the reviews came out and said, "Wow, this game's actually really good." Because the Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 weren't, they were good games, but they were niche games when they came out.
Yeah, especially
And
the
then
first
Witcher,
one.
oh, the first one, yeah, is very, very niche. I mean, I played it when it first came out because I'm saying I'm a hardcore gamer. That's what I do. But yeah, Witcher 3 became popular just by word of mouth when it came out. Cyberpunk 27 had so much promotional
Well, yeah,
budget put into it.
the hype with that. I mean, I don't recall ever seeing a game that had the same level of hype as that does. There's
No.
competitions, there's stuff where they're getting to dress up as costumes. They've even got one of the Quadra car. They've got that in Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
It's not even anything related to that game, and they put the car in a racing game. It's yeah, I've never known the hype to be like that before, and it's difficult to get away from it if you're a gamer. And
Not exactly a bad thing.
Well, no, it's I think it's justified. I'm confident that in 6 months' time, a year at the very most, this game will be the kind of polished thing, the polished result that they actually wanted.
It will be. They're definitely going to work on it because it took Witcher 3, because that was a buggy mess when it first came out. That took a good 3 to 6 months to get to a stage where it was bug free, and it's probably going to be about a year for Cyberpunk because compared to that, Witcher 3 is quite primitive, really.
Yeah.
There's just so much to it. There's just so much that's going on in Cyberpunk that it's no wonder there's so many bugs in there. The amount of lines of code, I dread to think how many there are.
I mean, given that the majority of the issues seem to be graphical and AI. I mean, some of the other stuff is like AI cars. I took a few screenshots the other night where AI cars. If you park your car in the street, the AI just sits there.
It just sits there. It'll occasionally honk its horn, but it's not like this. They won't just drive around
you,
it.
yeah.
Or if you smash into it, they won't get out and beat the shit out of you.
But like when the AI freaks out because combat's nearby. I remember doing one mission where it was him in, well, I say in the middle of the city. The whole bloody game's in the middle of the city. I'd done one of these missions where I was attacking some gangsters in the middle of the back alley or something, and when I came out of the alley back onto the street, there must have been about 15 AI all crouched down on the pavement.
Just crouching down with their heads in between in their hands. Yeah.
And more than anything, it's the fact that they stay there. Because I'd done one mission where I came out of the alleyway. In fact, it was a bit earlier on. I'd come out the alleyway and there was 2 AI crouched down on the sidewalk there, and I disappeared off. I went quite a distance away, then came back.
They're still
probably
there.
15-20 minutes later, and they were still there, crouched down. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing there? It's over. You're safe.
Yeah. I had that on one of the gigs. I'd finished the gig, and there was like reinforcements had turned up, expecting another firefight, but I like stealthed away, and I came back to that area later on, and these 3 dudes who were waiting to start a firefight were still there, just waiting for me to come out. So I just casually walked past them, thinking, "Hello, dudes."
But I think they're a bit overly aggressive at times as well. It's like the police, where you find like the laser police tape stuff up. A bit earlier, I just went up to the crime scene. I was stood outside of the tape, but just looking at it, and the police started freaking out, telling me to put your toys away. And I'm like, what?
Oh, did you have your gun out?
No.
Oh.
Nothing was out. Like, what toys are you on about, pal? I'm just looking. I'm outside of the cordoned area. I'm just looking at you.
Talking about graphical glitches, that was a hilarious one to start with. If you've chosen to have like yourself a penis, when you first get into the game, when you open up your inventory, the clothes that your first clothes that you're wearing. It's like they've been spawned on you, but they haven't taken into account like your genitals, so your dick is poking out your trousers, like you haven't put your fly up.
I've seen the pictures of that.
I haven't actually like gone out naked onto the street yet. I don't know if anyone actually said anything. If I did,
I don't know. I've unequipped items to sell them, and then been probably stood in the street for a few seconds naked. But yeah, I mean, nobody interacts with you anyway.
no. That would be a thing if you just take your dick out and everyone starts freaking out and screaming and running away. Ah!
Yeah, it's well, in fact, somebody posted a video from apparently it's the PS4 version, where it's like a cutscene starts on one of the trams, and then it's like follows like the camera's in front of the character as he's walking down the train, and he stands at the doorway and looks out, and it then renders in the skyscrapers, which are in like full-on polygon PS1 graphics, and then it just like chugs to a halt, crashes, and then goes to a PS4 crash screen. I'm like, I don't recall anywhere I've been on a tram, unless it's one of the like life story starts.
There is a tram. I don't know if you can actually use it though, but I've seen it go by.
Yeah, it exists, and one of the Reddit threads I was reading was talking about the things that are probably going to come. And
Yeah.
you got the metro system. It exists. It's there. You've seen it. I've seen it. But you can't use it. And yet, if you go on the computers on the internet, you can. There's a website on there for the metro system, and you can buy tickets. If you click on it, it says page not available yet. So I'm wondering if later on they're going to introduce the transit system that was probably supposed to be there in the first place.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's, well, there's got to be thousands upon thousands of bits of cut content, which they just haven't got the time for, which they'll just add in later on. Probably as free DLC.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what kind of DLC that they go for on this. Look at my guys kind of chugging down here. Nice little gate.
It's like power walking.
Yeah.
Striding through the forest like I'm on a mission.
I say we go and try and access that military base ahead of us.
Yeah.
It's in the distance, but let's
I can see it.
let's try and break into Bryce Norton.
Ah. Yeah, the be like that. Are you crouching? I think you are. You're sneaking around.
Oh, yeah. Barely, just a slight stoop of the back, but I didn't realise
Tell you
I'd
what,
done
because I was doing that earlier because in Cyberpunk the way to run is you push down on the left thumbstick and that gets you running.
that. Wow, what? Why are these telegraph lines like not only clipping through the hill, but garroting people who walk through them?
Well, bad design, I suppose. Not everyone's a genius like us.
Run, cross the road, run.
What? It's all good. I'm good. I wonder how many hours I'm actually going to put into this. What I'm worried about is, because like I said, I've been doing all these side missions, I hope I don't get to the stage like I did in this game, where I just get bored and can't be bothered to carry on.
Well, we've talked before about Red Dead 2, because you've got that, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that more than this has so much side questage going on that...
Hey, yeah, bitch!
The fuck? You wanna
Asshole.
fuck that motherfucker up for running you over. I've noticed in Cyberpunk the AI don't give a shit about running you over. You run into the road, you're going down.
Yeah. You have you been on your motorbike and actually like gone over the handlebars yet?
No, I've not gone on the bike yet.
That's fun. You start flailing around like, wah! Your hands like right in front of your vision, and then you just go face planting into the mud.
Oh, that sounds like road rash.
Yeah.
When you hit the bike, you go roar, start flying around.
Yeah, with road rash though, you actually you can fly all the way to the finish line. You get thrown off your bike so far.
No, I've yet to use the bike. I've just been using that little
But going back to Red Dead Redemption. Going back to Red Dead Redemption though, the reason I didn't complete that game was because of the arbitrary way the missions were set out. After you have all this freedom to run around and do your own stuff, and then the missions lock you into a certain play style, and that infuriated me.
Yeah. But then again, I think GTA does exactly the same. You're free to do... Oh, what? Bloody hell.
It does, but the missions are so wacky and so stupid in this game that I can forgive it.
Yeah. For Red Dead, I mean, with that one, it took me over a year to complete it in 3 portions. And then when it first came out, I put dozens of hours into it, but spent so long going onto the side quests that I just got distracted and bored. And then PC games came along and I was playing those. And then I forced myself to play it. I think I bought it in like the September, October time. Then in fact I bought a PS4 just to play it actually. But I put a couple of dozen hours into it, did loads of side quests, got bored because the story wasn't advancing. So in the end I gave up. Then I think probably around January I stopped playing it. Then I picked it up again in the April. Probably played it for about a week, and again just spent too long doing side quests and didn't get much with it. Then it came to like the autumn time. I think it was perhaps about a month before Death Stranding came out. I was like, right, well, I really want to play Death Stranding, but I want to get this finished. So all I did was just do nothing but main quests, and finally got it done. But even the ending was so fucking long. It's like every time I thought the game was like, oh, okay, brilliant, it's over now. Then it's like, spoilers, Arthur Morgan dies. But even
Who's
after...
Arthur Morgan? Is that Daryl? Is it from...
That's the main character.
Yeah, Daryl from Walking Dead. Oh no, Morgan. I was talking about Red Dead.
Red Dead, yeah.
So you were skipping back and forth from Red Dead and Death Stranding.
No, I just mentioned Death Stranding. I never said I left the topic. But no, with Morgan, he dies. Big gunfight with the main bad guys that he saw coming for fucking ages. And then there's like another 4 hours of gameplay playing as one of the other characters. You're like, for fuck's sake, is the game over yet? Why is it I've played Arthur Morgan all this bloody time, and now I'm suddenly playing one of the other characters? Like, will this ever end? Then eventually, in fact, because the credits roll after Arthur Morgan's bit's done, and you're like, oh brilliant, game over. Then the game carries on, but a different character and his family.
Well, you could stop it there then. Once the credits roll, I mean, it's just... That's if you want to, just do any other side quests, I suppose. But Morgan's story is over.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make that clear. It's like the credits roll, then it just goes back into the game again, and now you're playing somebody else. You're like, oh, so the game's not over? Which it clearly isn't, given there's a couple of hours more of content. But by that point, I was like, fuck, just please end. I just want this to be over now.
Like I said, if you've actually done the main storyline and you've done a fair amount of side quests, I think you could call it quits.
But yes, I got through it, but just because I forced myself to play nothing but primary quests.
And I don't know if that's a good thing, really. Forcing yourself to play a game because you feel you're obligated to do so. Doesn't sound like fun, it sounds like work.
It did, and certainly some of the missions you did in the final act were work stuff. Put up the fence, feed the animals, stroke the horses. It's like, why am I doing this? Am I trying to portray myself as playing the happy family or something afterwards?
I'm glad I never got that far.
Well, I did it for closure, but then Death Stranding came along and that was brilliant. I think we've talked about that on previous rambles, but that one I quite happily engaged many. I think I had about 90 hours of gameplay on that.
Yeah, I've not actually touched it yet.
I recommend it, Craig. It's good.
Yeah, it's one of the ones on the back burner. I'll get it when it's on the cheap, but I'll get it at a time when it's on the cheap, but also I'm not playing anything else because I know what will happen. I'll buy it and then just leave it there, stewing away in the library, and forget about it.
Yeah, get it when you're ready. It's a good time investment. It's typical Hideo Kojima, but it's I enjoyed it. When you get it, just put it on easy setting. There's no point. The only real challenge comes from the boss battles anyway, and the game is not about the boss battles.
It's all about connection.
It's about the
unity.
story. Well, the thing is, it is.
Monster.
And when that came out, I mean, that was... God, when was that? No, that wasn't lockdown. That
No, it's
was
before
about this
lockdown. It was
time.
the
No, it must have been about this time last year I was playing it.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I quite liked that. It certainly made a connection with me. You know, living alone, having most things delivered to you, just wanting to connect with people, but just nobody's really around to do that with it. It struck a chord with me, the underlying storyline with
Struck a
it.
chord with the delivery man who you kept on hugging all the time as you
Yeah,
knocked on the door. It's like,
I'm gonna give
oh
you
god,
five
here we go
thumbs
again.
up.
What's this? Is this the
It's the entrance to the base.
no, the memorial of the unknown soldier? And everyone's called John Doe. Okay.
In memory of the illustrious men of San Andreas, who unwillingly gave their lives for their country. Unwillingly?
That's a bit political of you, GTA. 1974, so yeah, Vietnam then. Even though that was over by 72.
Well, let's see how far we get wandering in at the base here. It's alright, we know someone who works here.
Well, that always used to work when I used to like come on base with you. They didn't even like pat me down. I mean, I could have had a gun to your back and I could have just walked on. Trying to think, what was the name of that book that you read where like the Arabs like they raced onto the base in like
Oh,
a transit van or whatever it was and just RPG'd all the planes.
yeah, they use a JCB to knock the fence down at the end of the runway. Then they come on with their pickups and RPG or the VC-10s parked there to take out, and they do similar attacks across Europe to take out the air-to-air refueling capabilities of NATO. Total War 2006, I think it's called, or 2003, 2000 and something anyway.
But it was not selling that time. It was 90s book, wasn't it?
No, it was written around that time. In
All right.
fact, the time I bought it, perhaps within about a year of it coming out, and apparently the guy who wrote it, he got into a bit of hot water with the MOD because he was like an ex-wing commander or something.
And he was nailing he was hammering the nail a bit too
Well,
accurately
possibly.
on the head.
I
Think
mean,
shit,
I mean
they can actually do this.
he wrote in there about Saddam Hussein's sons being taken out, and at the time that I was reading that book was the exact time that Saddam Hussein's sons were getting taken out. In fact, it was I recall it was around the time that I either was still reading it or had just finished it, but that was when Hussein was taken out. And I was still at Al Udeid Air Base at the time, and I remember when the announcement came out across the base PA system, saying that, you know, Saddam Hussein's dead, we finally got him. All the Americans are like, woo, yeah! And there's all this screaming and hollering coming out from all the tents.
And the Brits were like, "Oh, jolly good show."
Tea and biscuits, and there's me just going, fucking hell, what's going on here? What's all this noise about? We got Saddam, have we?
By that time, it made no fucking difference. We'd already won the war by then.
Yeah.
He was just like scurrying away in little rabbit holes at that point.
Yeah, but that book came out because it basically exposed. I think he got in hot water because it exposed issues with security, and you know, when you factor in that a lot of RAF airfields have got main roads going quite close to the runways, you could just get a transit van or something to just bash the fence over, and drive down the runway, and off you go. Start shooting at the aircraft.
See how well our boys are on the ball, really, to actually shoot back.
Well, given that most air bases probably have one person with a gun guarding the entire base at any one time, there's a bit of security giveaway for you. There's a bunch of semi-armed men waiting to shoot back, but they're going to take a while to get their shit together. Oh, he's aiming. Right, here we go. This is a public right of way. There's a footpath through the airbase. You can't stop us. Let's go around the edge.
I forgot to bring my my board with me. Down with this sort of thing.
But there's another factoid for you.
But that's fucking Americans for you. As soon as they see someone, they point their gun at you.
Certain military bases, which will go unnamed, have actual footpaths going through them. Which I remember having to do guard duty on one of them, where you would see ramblers like us just wandering through, and you're like, okay. I mean, it wasn't near like the actual installation parts of it, but accommodation sections had footpaths going through them, and you just had to ensure they didn't stray inside or outside of the footpaths.
Because it all depends on the importance of the base, really. If there's, if it's of no strategic importance whatsoever.
But then look at
Oh,
Bryce Norton, and that's cut footpaths and roads in half by the extension of the runway.
Yeah. Yeah, all at the top half.
I wonder if we snipe that guard. There's only one dude down there. But then I'm trying to think now. Maybe I'm getting confused with Cyberpunk, but if we snipe that guy, it's just going to enrage the entire base, and suddenly we've got loads of stars coming after us.
Probably, yes. But we've probably done a while now, and we've done our ramble, so I suppose we should end it in bloody glory.
Okay, yeah, let's take out that motherfucker.
Right, sniper. I've got mine. I'm doing this with joypad, so don't know how well this is going to go. And people keep interrupting me on the phone. Go away.
How can you... Oh shit, you're already firing.
Well, this keeps firing at us. Yep, 3 stars.
That didn't take long.
No. Change my weapon. Need something a bit more up close and personal now. Yeah, the star's already going down, actually.
Let's just wait here.
Yeah.
Let them go, and then let's go back into the base. Carry on with it.
I did get shot a few times, but I'm all
Blimey.
good.
Oh shit.
Oh. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, I'm down. Wasted. I got fucked in the face, I did.
Oh. Oh well, I'm just gonna go hell for leather then.
Yep.
Let's
Blaze of glory,
storm the
motherfucker.
base.
I'll wait here. See how you'll have to do the running commentary now. So when our listeners get bored.
I'm running across the car park. Oh, I think I've just been spotted. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, that'll do for that then.